Very good morning to all the dear students of class 10th. Now, as for this week, this is our last class for social science 2, where we are going to finish the chapter. Before that, I think we should recap all the points so that we can conclude the chapter, and then you may all complete the work which is attached with this video. The chapter's name is Sectors of Indian Economy, whereas your class teacher must have sent you the PDF, which I'm sure of you people have gone through. Now, in this chapter, Sectors of Indian Economy, we saw what is an economy. The economy is a framework in which economic activities take place, which in return gives money. Then we saw the division of economy, which was on the basis of nature of the work, primary, secondary, tertiary. Then we saw the division on the basis of working conditions, organized, unorganized. Then we saw on the basis of ownership, where we saw public sector and private sector. Now children, on the basis of nature of economy we have done. Then we saw that on the basis of working conditions also we discussed in detail. Then ownership also, private and public. Now we will see that how economic activities are highly interdependent with each other. To understand this interdependency, let us take an example of a cold drink. A cold drink contains water, sugar, and artificial flavors. Suppose if there is no sugarcane production in the sugar producing area, then sugar will become very difficult to be obtained by the factory, and then wherever they will find sugar, it will be very costly, children. Then now to transport this sugar cane to sugar mills, and sugar could so that sugar to the cold drink plant needs the services of the transport system as well. So do you see how primary sector from the production of sugar cane is connected with the transportation of that sugar to sugar mills? How primary, secondary are connected? Then a person or a group of people which is required to maintain and monitor all these movements of goods from the farm to factory or to shop in different locations. That is where the role of administration staff comes. Now did you see administration staff which monitors, administers everything? So we see the base, the helpline given to this frame of work. So primary connected with secondary and secondary connected with tertiary. Then children, this administration part also is giving base for the accomplishment of the works done. Then the man also needs fertilizers and seeds which will be processed in some factory, which will be delivered to the doorstep by means of transportation. To top it all, at every step of these activities, we require proper monetary and banking system. So for any economic activity, children, we require money and we require banking and transportation system. So this was an example to make you understand these three sectors are interconnected. Okay. Now, comparing these three sectors, first we saw the dependency of each sector. Now we will see the comparison part of these three sectors. Number one, we count only final goods. We saw what is GDP, final goods and services, and not the intermediate goods. मतलब जो the goods which were in between the processes, as the value of final goods already includes the value of intermediate goods. So we will take only one value. We will not just take 5 rupee of the flour, 5 rupee of the sugar, 5 rupee of the butter, and then total cost of the biscuit comes to 15. So we will take only 15 rupees. We will not take 5. So this was an example. So in the same way, children, the value of the final goods is only considered. Now, the value of the final goods and services produced in each sector during a particular year provides the total production of the sector of that year. The sum of production in these three sectors gives us the GDP. GDP is gross domestic product for the whole country. So in all these three sectors, the total sum of the final goods and services is counted as GDP. Now, the finance ministry, with the help of various government departments of all the Indian states, of all the Indian states and union territories estimates the GDP. Okay, so who estimates the GDP? The financial ministry, the finance ministry estimates the GDP. Now, after knowing what is GDP, how the dependency of these three sectors take place, then we will see what is the role of our government. What is the role of a country's government in private sector, public sector, and economic development of the country? For example, infrastructure. What is infrastructure, children? Construction of roads, bridges, generating electricity, education, irrigation, buildings, everything is counted as infrastructure. Now, also collecting money from thousands of people is not so easy, isn't it? So the government has to take some steps to enhance a country's infrastructure. How? Public welfare. Public welfare. Again, that topic is in itself giving you the meaning public welfare. Okay. So, welfare, well being of the public. It is simple as that. So, providing health, housing facilities, safe drinking water, children, food and nutrition for poor are the primary responsibilities of the government. Then next step, the government, next role of the government, not just to look after the public welfare, the activities should be taken up by the government as private sector would like to maximize their profits. For example, we saw public welfare holds health, housing, sanitation, good food, proper nutrition, safe drinking water. Let's take an example of safe drinking water. Children, safe drinking water is the need for everyone. Is the right to survive. Is coming under right to survival. So everybody holds the right to have safe drinking water. Whereas you see Chennai has lot of shortage of water, scarcity of water. Okay. Now what happens if in Chennai we see shortage of water? There the government has to come and intervene. Because if private companies would come and provide water to these, then children, what happen? They will make their profit. They will make their profit and they will sell water at a very higher price. Therefore, it is the need for the government to come into the situation and do the needful. Next step or next role of government, children, is balanced regional development. We have to see the development of a particular region also in a balanced way. To reduce and overcome regional disparities, the government uses powers and resources to set up industries in undeveloped and underdeveloped regions. This is how we will see regional development. For example, you take an example of place A and place B. Place A has a lot of infrastructure, good companies are there, employment is there. Whereas place B is still very, very, backward, underdeveloped. Now, as a government, I need to see that in my territory, both the regions should be developing on an equal rate. Therefore, it is my duty to provide opportunities for the same, like setting up industries, giving education and everything to start up in region B also, so that region B also develops. Alright? Now, the next is, children, we'll see in the last problems which are being faced by Indian economy, right? So inflation, number one, where the prices of the commodities shoot out like anything, and thus the country faces the situation of inflation. Number second problem, children, poor educational standards. We all know that in spite of the government's effort, we see that lot of children are still not getting education and we are seeing child labor. So with this, children, we should see that the government should come up with more solutions in spite of UEE, universalization of elementary education, in spite of free books, free schools, free education, midday meal, everything. Students are not turning up to school. So we have to see more of the scope to call children. So we have to increase our educational standards. So this is another problem which is faced by Indian economy. Next, poor infrastructure, children. Many Indians are still lacking basic amenities like we discussed in the previous part, safe drinking water, health, hygiene, facilities. So countries facing poor infrastructure. Next problem is, children, balance of payments decline. Balance of payments is a system in which recording of all countries' economic transaction with the rest of the world over a year's time. So we are seeing that there is a lack, there is a decline in balance of payment. Means the country needs to have payment from different sources, and country is not getting them. Okay. Next is high levels of debt. High levels of debt means, in simple words to make you understand, is karza, and we have seen in class 9th economics debt. Okay. So in our country, farmers are basically into the debt trap. They keep on taking loan from informal sector which is not bank, family, relatives, zamindars and all these people, money lenders, where they charge a high rate of interest, and the farmer ultimately falls into the debt trap. So children, high levels of debt is another problem. Then inequality has been rising since the period of time. So inequality, discrimination, social discrimination, economic discrimination is more. Social discrimination is not going to add in country's economy. It has hoped that economic growth would help to drag the Indian poor above the poverty line, but for now our country's growth has highly been uneven in benefiting the skilled workers. So we are seeing inequality is rising. Then large budget deficit. Because our country is not having that large budget, so we are not able to give that scope, we are not able to give that benefit of large budget to our country's population. And the last is rigid labor laws. As an example of firms employing more than 100 people cannot fire workers without the government's permission. So the effect of this is to discourage firms from expanding to over 100 people. It also discourages foreign investment. Unions have an important political power base, and governments often stay away from tackling potentials especially. So these firms, associations and all, they also are very rigid, so which is ultimately pushing the economy towards its downfall, children. So with this chapter, as with this point, children, with discussion of problems faced by Indian economy, we come to an end with this chapter. I hope the chapter is understood by you all, and if you have any doubts, children, please go through the comment section and do write your queries. I will try my level best to solve your queries, and please complete the work given to you. Thank you so much, children. See you in the next class. Bye bye.